Right. So apparently this has been done on this truck fairly recently. Either that or this is just a freak of nature, because these all checked out good. So I'm not even going to adjust them. But I'm going to tell you how to do it in case. This was super easy. Everybody said it was going to be really difficult. What? Huh. They made it out like it was just going to be this hard thing to do. It took me 15 minutes to get this cover off. Look down in there. I mean, not hard. What you got to do is, the first thing is to get it to top dead on the compression stroke on cylinder number 1. I used a pipe wrench to grab on the balancer there sideways. So pipe wrench kind of went in like this, sticking up, and pull it sideways, and then you can roll the motor over. It's very difficult. You just gotta hold pressure on it. Don't like jack it around. If you just hold pressure on it, it'll kind of bleed the compression off as it turns. You're gonna have to have 2 people, because you take a 1/4 inch bolt. They actually said it's gonna be 5mm, I believe. I don't know, my notes. 6mm bolt. I'm sorry. And you come over here to the passenger side, crawl up under here. Alright. This is the passenger side of the engine, and there's a hole. The bell housing is right here. I hope you can see. There's a hole. I don't know if you can see it or not. Basically, at the tip of my pointer finger, there's a hole in that bell housing. You put the bolt in there. It needs to be, I don't know, 4 inches long, and just kind of hold pressure on it. And as somebody spins the flywheel over, hold pressure on it, and then there's a hole in the flywheel, so when the flywheel gets to that spot, it'll just slide in that hole. And that's gonna either put you on number 1 top dead on compression, or it's gonna put you on the number 6 cylinder top dead on the compression stroke, which you have to do both. So once it goes in there, go up to the valve train here, and if it's on number 6 on the top dead, then these 2 in the back will be loose. So I was on top dead on number 1 right here, so my exhaust is loose and the intake is tight. So if I went to the front, they would both be loose. So again, if you're on number 6 compression stroke, these 2 will be loose, and you start adjusting from back here. You'll go intake and exhaust. You'll do both of these. Set the lash on both of these first. You just, loosen the jam nut here. This is the Allen. So you loosen that up, slide your feeler gauge under it, tighten down the Allen until it's just got a little resistance on it, and then hold the Allen while you tighten this guy back down. It's 25 foot-pounds. You can torque them when you're done. It's a little easier. So, what was I? Yeah, so just hold your Allen wrench so that when you turn this nut, it doesn't turn the Allen as well, and tighten it up or loosen it or whatever, so you know your lash is on. So you go intake, exhaust, and then you're going to go intake on the number 5. So you'll adjust intake on the number 5. Don't mess with the exhaust. Of course, the intake is a shorter one. It's got your little bridge here for 2 valves. It's 2 valve on intake, 1 on exhaust. So, and this is kind of my notes here. It's backwards. So if you had the number 1 cylinder, if you were on the compression on number 1, you would start here and then just work your way all the way down. 15 thousandths on the intake, 25 on the exhaust. So since we're on the number 6, then we're going to go to the intake on number 5, then the exhaust on number 4, intake on number 3, exhaust on number 2. So you alternate all the way up. When you get done with that, then you'll take your pin out of the flywheel, rotate the flywheel until the pin drops in the next hole. When you're on the next hole, you would be on cylinder number 1, compression stroke. So whichever one you do first, just make sure you do it in the right order. Once you get the flywheel repinned, Start on cylinder number 1, do the exhaust, then do number 2 on the number 1 cylinder. I'm sorry, do both on the number 1 cylinder. Then go to the number 2 cylinder, do the intake. Then go to number 3 cylinder, do the exhaust. Number 4, intake. Number 5, exhaust. And then you're done. Go back, torque all your little retainer dealios here, and that's how you do it. That's the overhead. They make it seem like it's very difficult, and it's not. Maybe on different trucks it'll be a little harder to get to, but on these GMCs or the Chevrolets, whatever, it's very, very simple to do. So then just make sure your surface here is good and clean before you put the O-ring on it. It's an O-ring, it's not a gasket, so you can reuse it as long as it's not torn, or just do a visual inspection on it. Put everything back on, make sure all your wire routing's the same so nothing rubs, and you're done. Nothing to it.